Alright guys, welcome to Formula 1 News. Big update on Ferrari's plan to unveil Lewis Hamilton, the simulator work that he's about to get underway with, and also his debut test in the car scheduled, it seems, for the 22nd of January. Apparently there are police precautions in place for the chaos this may ensue among the Tifosi. Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to crack straight on with this. Carlos Sainz becomes only the 4th ever driver to drive for, what in F1 history would probably be considered the 3 big teams. Williams, Ferrari and McLaren, famously Alain Prost, Nigel Mansell, and then of course Jackie Ickx as well. And Carlos Sainz is, well, writing his names in the history books to some degree. How good are Williams going to be? I'm not so convinced. We know that James Vowles always talks about sacrificing for 2026, but at least they've got a strong driver pairing as they have often had. One other update, speaking of largely European drivers, Grand Prix in Europe. So the Belgian Grand Prix has been axed off the calendar for 2030 and 2028. So it's here to stay. They signed an extension, but if you guys missed the news a few days ago, in 26, 25 obviously, 25, 26, 27, there will be a Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. 28 there won't be, 29 there will be, 30 there won't be, 31 there will be. After that, who knows? It may be gone forever. The Grand Prix makes a bit of a loss. They don't have the money to pay F1 that some of the other tracks have. And Belgium's Grand Prix president is not particularly maybe happy about the way that things are going with Formula 1. Now, he says Formula 1 wants only 8 Grand Prix in Europe out of 24, which is, a third of the calendar in Europe, given the heritage of the sport, given that everything is pretty much based in Europe, is not ideal. I will say, when you look, however, at the calendar, it's not that dissimilar to this today. I guess the point is, though, that we've got races such as Madrid coming in, and there's other talk about other Grand Prix in Europe that may continue in the future. But if we look at the calendar today, we've got Imola, that's in Europe, Monaco, Spain, Austria, Silverstone, Spa, Hungary, Netherlands. That gets you to 8. Monza gets you to 9. And then, okay, Azerbaijan's kind of Europe, kind of Asia. Okay, maybe you count that. That's 10. So right now, out of 24 next year, 9, probably 10 if you want to call it that, but I'd say 9 really are European Grand Prix. And, Belgium believes that they're going to try and get to 8. So one must go, I guess, is the consequence here. I think Imola may. We believe that Barcelona may, of course, for the Madrid Grand Prix in a car park, which is coming soon. So, yeah, bit concerning. I think, look, there will probably continue to be 8 Grand Prix in Europe, and that means that almost certainly Monza, Silverstone, Monaco, and among others will stay. But obviously Netherlands is also going, isn't it, right? Zandvoort is gone as well. So, yeah, I don't know, bit concerning there, really. But you'd hope that if there's 8 European Grand Prix, at least they will be on mostly the legendary circuits, but that's not going to be Spa, certainly not guaranteed, and that's a problem, you might argue. Turkey has also talked about a return to the calendar as well. There's been lots of discussion on this over the last couple of years at Istanbul Park. Excellent Grand Prix there over the years, and reports emerging yesterday that it's pretty close to happening, although I will say the amount of times we've heard over the last couple of years that a certain Grand Prix is pretty close to happening, or only one step remains until we get a Grand Prix in this country. It might be South Africa, might be Korea, and many others. Thailand, like many other countries are interested. There was even talk about like a New York Grand Prix, wasn't there, a while ago? So a lot of things are said, maybe not that many things are done, but the reality is that Formula 1 has so much interest from various countries and cities and organizations around the world. They are kind of spoiled for choice, and they don't necessarily have to, as they used to, go to the tracks that we might like them to go to. Quickly on Perez, I know that we mentioned some of his comments yesterday and the day before, but he actually did follow up, or at least there was kind of a wider ranging comments in Perez than I initially saw. And I still do find some of the comments difficult to believe, because as he says, honestly, it's too soon to know about Formula 1. It's too soon to answer. I didn't expect it. Everything happened very quickly. Now, of course, as I said the other day, all of us expected it. So why did Perez not? Maybe he just thought that the sponsor backing and that side of things was so powerful that there was no chance they would ever get rid of him. But yeah, as he says, for sure, if I receive a good, interesting project, I'll definitely consider it and think about it. It will all come in its own time. For now, my priority in the months ahead is to have fun, do what I haven't been able to do, travel, be with my family. So that was the other piece really where Perez says, like, he's not sure if a return to Formula 1 is going to happen in his future, but he does, he will consider any opportunities as and when, if they arrive, I think I'd argue. Aston Martin, we know that there's drama over there. Well, maybe not drama, but they're changing their tides of their technical team. Andy Cowell, after spending roughly 3 months in the job, has now decided, all right, I'm becoming the team principal. Mike Crack's out of there. He's going to be trackside director and making other serious changes in the organisations too. Alonso says this, I thought, was just an interesting assessment. I think he'd changed already, Andy Cowell, some of the weaknesses that he found in the team. We have trust in the new management. I think things are moving in the right direction. So that's interesting from Alonso because, pretty blunt. He says it how he thinks it is most of the time. And his discussion on the weaknesses that he found, the implication there from Alonso is that Cowell found weaknesses that Alonso also felt. I don't know. It's been interesting for Fernando because it doesn't seem like he can have full confidence in the direction of the car, the direction of the team, but they should be able to be confident, the drivers, in the level of talent and technical team that Lawrence Stroll is building over there. But that project has definitely been stuttering over the last 18 months or so. There was also this quite remarkable quote today from Jacques Villeneuve, who definitely knows how to say something controversial. You guys remember, was it in Canada, the thoughts that he was giving on Daniel Ricciardo, around about then anyway, that this guy was a waste of a spot on the grid and all this stuff. And Villeneuve says this. Now, I see this count quite a lot, not Racing Point, and I always think it's got to be a parody account. But no, this actually was a real quote where Villeneuve says, if we take Verstappen out of F1, nobody cares. If we take Hamilton out of F1, people care. Now, okay, people are going to care regardless, is the first point. Okay, I guess I know what Villeneuve's getting at in the sense of Hamilton from, let's just say, as an icon of not just the sport, but also outside of the sport, is a bigger deal than Verstappen was, whatever. Does that really matter at the end of the day? Verstappen is here to race and to win championships. That's his personality, and that's what he achieves. And also, Max has an immense fan base in the Netherlands and largely around the world as well. Not Lewis's, sure. And I do think that, there's only a couple of drivers ever really that have transcended the sport in the way that Hamilton has done. But if you removed Max, people would care. And also, the sport would, I think, be less interesting as well. Certainly as it is now. I might argue that in 2023, you remove Max, the championship is more interesting. But if you remove Max today, he picks fights with certain people. He says it how it is. I think I like having Max on the grid. And also, he's going to drive in a questionable at times, but certainly entertaining manner, I might put. So, yeah, thought that was interesting from Jacques Villeneuve because he's certainly riling up more controversy about his own opinions. But speaking of Hamilton, let's talk about Ferrari. The testing is going to begin relatively soon. 43 days, I believe, is pre-season testing as of today. They also closed out with, I'm not sure if it's going to be the final, but they have, of course, been running through the dressing room label, the birthday cake, the table for two, and the passes. So, and of course, as we got to 2 and 3 of these posts that Ferrari started to do, we started to think, okay, is this red anything to do with the new red that Ferrari are going for? To me, the darker, more cherry red makes a lot of sense, I think. Certainly for Hamilton as well. I think it's just going to fit Hamilton better, to be honest. And I think it looks prettier, in my opinion. But yeah, we've just been talking about not all of these images have the same shade of red. For example, you can see, the Ferrari factory in the background has a different shade of red to what we see on the tablecloth. And on the passes one, these passes are a slightly lighter shade, but the kind of colour in the bottom right-hand side of the screen is a darker, more cherry red. So people are still trying to theorise exactly what's happening there, but there were rumours today as to exactly what the plan is with Hamilton at Ferrari and what he's going to be up to over the next week and a half or so, starting his campaign with the team. So this is what Giuliano Da Chiesa has to say. Hamilton's become a Ferrari driver officially. The partnership is about to begin in Maranello from an operational point of view. So this is the state of affairs. This is the plan. We know that he's already visited Maranello on many occasions, informally and privately many times. January will be a short but important month after the winter preparation. Hamilton knows the importance of ensuring good integration and teamwork. Inside Ferrari, there is optimism and enthusiasm for this highly anticipated partnership. He will begin his new journey as an official driver in a few days. So this is the program. He will start with meetings with the engineers, training on the simulator, and then of course track time, probably in in that order, pretty much. So just to keep this clear, so Ferrari's launch event, or when they launch their livery, is going to be, I think, on like the 18th of February, whatever the date is they're doing that F1 75 event there in London. The day after that is when Hamilton is going to drive the new Ferrari. So the actual new Ferrari in Fiorano for the first time, because Ferrari aren't very happy. Not they're not happy, but like F1 want to do their own launch event this year for the 75th anniversary, and fair play. But Ferrari are like, we're not just going to do that. We want to do our own thing as well. So that's the plan. I think it's the 18th of Feb, and then the 19th of Feb will be the date where Hamilton will be in the new Ferrari at Fiorano for the first time. But of course, he is going to be driving Ferrari cars before then, just not the new one. So the plan is as follows. Ferrari's new single-seater is in the production phase. The drivers will soon be actively involved in simulator sessions and on-track training. There's no special program, but his first on-track experience should be on the January the 22nd. So they've got, I think it's going to be at Fiorano, they've got 3 days of testing. They've got backup options if the weather conditions are problematic. And there are also rumours that at the end of the month, they're going to have another 3 days, or at least 2 days, at Barcelona for him to also test older Ferrari cars. So it looks like he's going to be in a Ferrari on the 22nd of January. That's the new date, and he's going to be in simulator sessions before that. He's also going to have the number 44 in the car at that point, and it's going to be the F1 75. So we did speculate on this. Would it be the 2022 Ferrari, which that is? Would it be the 2023 Ferrari, the SF23? But no, it's going to be the cherry red, as we predicted, F1 75. His first sim session is set to be in 6 days' time, on the 20th of January, in the Scuderia Ferrari factory. So pretty interesting stuff, because the simulator stuff, you'd imagine, will be on the new car. But obviously the new car, it's, you know, you've got to make sure that the simulator aligns with reality. I'm sure that they've done all their experimentation, but if the car is being built as we speak at the moment, then making sure the simulator is going to be accurate, I'm sure takes a bit of time. So some might argue, like, why is Hamilton, he joined Ferrari on the 1st of January, why is he not in the sim on the 2nd of January? But maybe there are reasons why they've pushed it back a little bit. That's going to be his first simulator session on the 20th, first time in a Ferrari, the F1 75 on the 22nd, that's how it stands. And look, this is going to be an absolutely monumental day in the history of Formula One. There was also talk, of course, about the way that the new testing regulations work, the opportunities for the SF25, or the SF23, sorry. The SF25 could be this year's car. We've discussed these type of discussions over the last couple of days. So, yeah, good article from De Kesser as always. So that's the plan. 20th of January in the simulator, 22nd of January on the track with the number 44. That is how it currently stands. Things may change in due course. Of course, a big talking point has been, what's the one-lap pace going to look like? We know that the Ferraris that Hamilton will be testing, known well for their one-lap pace, for their ability in a qualifying setting. The F1 75 and the SF23, that both applies to, of course. I wonder if the test at the end of Barcelona, or the end of the month in Barcelona, goes ahead, what car Hamilton would be in then, like his feelings about those cars. And obviously Loic Serra, who's joining Ferrari from Mercedes with Hamilton, of course, one of the engineers, is certainly focusing on making sure Hamilton's one-lap pace can get back to where he wants it to be. And as I hinted at earlier, this is going to be a huge moment in Italy for the Tifosi. One of the biggest moments ever in many respects, this event on the 22nd of January. So, yeah, there was some discussion here. I'm expecting that Maranello and Fiorano, the streets will be filled with people. I'm expecting something that we haven't seen in years. And even there's been talk on, there was initially talk on the 21st. It could be the 21st, could be the 22nd, could be the 23rd. Depends on weather conditions. But yeah, reportedly, the Italian police are making, you know, basically making their plans to try and control the crowds and the chaos that is likely to unfold in that vicinity. A couple of other updates around the Formula One world for you guys. Reportedly, the W16 will be silver with black or fully black. So, I mean, I think I probably could have guessed this, but still, that's the rumour anyway. Of course, last year it was a talking point, the fact that they were going to have silver back on the car. It's definitely not going to be fully silver. Even Toto Wolff, I think, literally said to Hamilton, we are going to keep some black on the car, like we're not going to go back to fully how it was. But, yeah, silver, black, who knows? It could be fully black, it could be silver again. I don't know, I liked the livery this year, but I also do think that the fully black cars were quite intimidating. But equally, I don't know if I'd do that again unless I was confident that it was going to be really good if I was Mercedes. Or I just needed to save the weight big time. That's a possibility. If Mercedes, I think this year they'll go silver and black again. I think next year in 2026... if they think their engine is going to be really good, they might come out with a full black livery and say, you know what, this is the W11 V2.0. This is, well, just a comparison, because 2026, the cars are going to be smaller than they were this year, and they are going to be this year. Not much smaller, we're talking like 30 centimeters, but look at the comparison between 2026 cars and 2005 cars. Like, these are the new cars that are going to be smaller than the previous ones. You guys can tell here from the front wing and some of the design features, but it wasn't that long ago. 2005 is not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. The cars were thinner, they were much shorter, and this is the reason why many would say, should we be rotating Spa or should we be rotating Monaco? And, you know, I, to be honest, would be in favour of the latter. And even this, it's kind of crazy, right? I know that the perspective on this image is probably a little bit misleading, but still, this is a Formula 1 car, Haas, you know, Ollie Behrman's Haas. This is a Formula 4 car that, you know, he used to drive. It looks like a kid's car, right? I mean, I guess kind of technically it is. Drivers on a Formula 1 level tend to drive this car when they're probably not fully grown, but still, I mean, it is a full-size racing car, and it's a reasonably substantially sized car, but it looks like it's something that, you know, you wouldn't be able to drive, but it's perfectly drivable, and it's a pretty big car in its own right. It's just, yeah, the F1 car is absolutely enormous. And we can maybe only hope that as time progresses in Formula 1, that story is going to change somewhat. But very much into your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.